Good evening, everybody. Eilidh's still having technical issues, but she will be with us, don't worry. Welcome to a Friday night edition of the weekly Steelchair. As you can see, prior to tonight's show, obviously, it's 2 nights in a row, two of the greatest of the wrestling world from a wrestling perspective and a creative inspiration has sadly passed away. We at the Weekly Steelchair would like to say, on behalf of the wrestling world and just in general, of course, to Terry Funk, of course, from 1944 until sadly, a couple of days ago, sadly passed away at the age of 79. We at the Weekly Steelchair wish all his family our thoughts and prayers, and we hope he's at peace. Wyndham Rotunda, best known as Bray Wyatt, sadly passed away in the early hours this morning. It's just horrible. 36 is no age. That you look at life itself, and 36 is no age. And we also wish his family all our thoughts and prayers, and we are so very sorry to hear of his passing. Tonight, we are still going to do our All In preview for this Sunday, but I would like to make it abundantly clear. I would like to make this abundantly clear now. I want 3 things in the live chat tonight. 1, I would like a heart for Funk and for Bray Wyatt. I would like these emojis, and also I would just like everybody to get in their favourite Terry Funk and Bray Wyatt moments. As we go through the show, we're still going to do the preview for All In. Don't worry about that. We're going to do predictions. I'll be taking everybody's predictions in for each match. But I'd also like to say as well, as of Monday, Bank Holiday Monday, if you're down in England, I get the bank holidays because I work for an English employer, so I'm quite lucky. Monday, I'm going to be doing a very special tribute show for both Terry Funk and Bray Wyatt. I'm going to be doing a show for both men that we're going to do. We're going to have some guests on, so we're going to do... It's going to be a long stream. Like, to be fair, it doesn't matter how long it goes. What matters is we give both men the respect they deserve for what they've done in the business that is professional wrestling. We are going to do this the right way and the honourable way. The first half is going to be Terry Funk. The second half is going to be Bray Wyatt. There will be the link to the StreamYard in the chat. So that will be done on the day, which is on Monday. Keep an eye out on the community tab, unless you've got me on Twitter. The likes of Diego, Yeti Boy, I know I've got them on Twitter. Eddie, who was in the live chat earlier on, he also has me on Twitter. Keep an eye out for the tweets for the show. And then for anybody else, any other method of content you'd like to use, if you'd like to, come onto Twitter. From there, you can find, well, it's not listed as that, but I actually will be found as this on Twitter, but also Devil's Rising as well, if I'll bring up on screen. Alternatively, the community tab will have the post. I will do it on Monday. To be fair, I am normally on a Monday football podcast. I am going to ask for this to be pushed onto Tuesday because I would like to do this show in full on Monday. So Monday, the tribute show for Bray Wyatt and Terry Funk. If you'd like to come on, let me know. You're more than welcome. We can discuss our favourite moments. We're going to discuss classic matches. We're going to do a special 2-match watch-along. So during the first half, we're going to do a Terry Funk match. The second half, we're going to do a Bray Wyatt match. We're going to do it as a commentary, watching along with the weekly Steelchair community, and we're going to do this in the right and honourable way. So I don't want, obviously negative comments will happen, but in tonight's show, and especially on Monday, please can we have no negative comments? Let's do the right thing and let's just have a good show. Now, Eilidh is not here at the moment. She was having technical issues. I'm hoping that we can get her on. It was working briefly. And then it just went down. So I messaged Eilidh and I just said, I'm going to start, but I'm going to do the 10 bell salute. It's only fitting that we do this in the right and honourable way. And that's all I wanted to do. And this is all I'm hoping for. So let's have a good show. My man, Rich, good to see you, sir. Good to see you. It's a pleasure. Absolutely. Rest in peace, Funk and Wyatt. Before we even preview All In, obviously this is live Sunday from Wembley Stadoum. Live from Wembley Stadoum. I'm going to be there. I have got tickets for All In. I will be there this Sunday. I will also be at the Copper Box Arena for Rev Pro tomorrow. So that's going to be a good show. But in the meantime, yes, Sunday. But just in general, what is everyone's thoughts and feelings about AEW All In? How confident are you about the show? Do you think it's going to be a good show? Do you think it's going to be questionable? Which matches in particular are you looking forward to? Get your comments in. Let me know what you think. And every comment tonight especially is going to be one for the many. So let's do this the right way. Yeah, boy, Shender saying, I've never been as excited for a wrestling show than I am for All In. I can't wait. I think it's going to be amazing. I think it's going to be really good to see how it goes. I do have a little bit of skepticism about a few things, but that's natural. That's how wrestling goes. We just have to make sure exactly as that everything goes to plan. It has to work. But we're going to see exactly what happens. Just hoping that Eilidh will be here soon. Hoping that she will. I don't know what's going on. First live wrestling I've ever been to. Any tips on how to have a good night? Well, I've been to several wrestling shows myself, and I think the one important thing is the crowd you associate yourself in, who you go with, who's going to be there with you. The main thing is just enjoy the atmosphere. If the atmosphere is good, you're going to enjoy yourself. If you feel like the atmosphere is not a bit much, it might be a questionable one, but the atmosphere always picks up. The good thing as well, though, is get amongst the crowd before the show starts. So I'm going to the pre-show party. I'll be at the pre-show party 10 till 2. So if you want to meet me there, do it part of vlog. We'll do that because I'm going to do some videos for the channel. I'm hoping Yeti Boy's there. He hasn't told me if he's going or not. He just says he's excited, the daft bugger. I'm hoping he's there so we can, also because we love football as well, so we can chat football as well as wrestling. But that is the atmosphere we're going to get. We are going to get something special on Sunday, and we're going to see exactly what AEW is made of. And Yeti Boy saying the only worry is if MJF or Cole gets injured in the buy-in. Yeah, that's a good point. Hoping we've got the audio in because she has joined. Eilidh, over to you. Is Starship Enterprise connecting? Nah, she's still down. Well, good. Let me know where you are so I can see you. Are there any AEW chants we should know? Me and Lucas are going together. To be fair, if you sing Judas, she'll be fine. That's the only one you really need to know. That's the only thing that's probably going to be the most significant ones of the night. To be fair, the good thing is, see for chants, it's mostly just going to be the Golden Elite stuff, Young Bucks, like FTR, like that all kick off. So the best thing to do is the minute like a singular chant starts, you'll hear it amongst the crowd from the top down. Little singular chants will kick off. Once they kick off, just get yourself embedded, and you'll be fine. You'll be fine. But it's going to be a really good show once they get underway. Really, once they get underway. I'm hoping Eilidh's technological disasters will be overcome. It's either me or Eilidh. It's one. It's never both at the same time. So I'm hoping that she's fixed. Eilidh, over to you.
Have we finally got some audio that people can actually hear?
Guys, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you can hear Eilidh in the live chat. Because I can hear her, so it's a thumbs up from me.
The nightmare of all nightmares trying to get connected. And, it's a shame because obviously I wanted to be present for the, 20 bell salute as things go, because we've lost two massive names in the business.
You know what we're going to do? You know what we're going to do? You know what we're going to do, actually? Shall we do the... You know what? This is for everyone in the live chat, because Eilidh unfortunately missed this. Thumbs up or thumbs down the live chat. Shall we do the 20 bell salute again for both? Put it in the live chat.
Yeah. We'll put it to a vote. We don't need to accommodate just me, and obviously fantastic that we're respecting the two legends, and it's great to get the the sentimental part of the evening on it. So we have a thumbs up from Abul. Yeah, absolutely. We've got a thumb up from Diego. I think I can tell what way this is going, and I'm all for it, as you can see.
And we have 9 people watching, so thank you so much. The comments have been booming before we even went live.
Yeah, and get your friends involved and let them know that the show can only get better from here, because now I'm here as well.
The before show party, it's like I actually need to find out because I'm actually going there on Saturday. Sunday.
Is this the pre-All In party?
Aye. It'll be just. I'm assuming it'll be at Wembley.
Doing it.
I think so.
I thought it was Slug and Lettuce for some reason.
I'm going to see if I can just double check.
That might have been Clash.
Yeah, I'm just going to double check just now. Pre-show party. There it is, because they've changed it till 10:30 till 2. It's been changed. It's earlier now, so the big takeover, AEW All In, the Box Park big Wembley takeover. That's like, well, that's progress and all that. That's not. I'm not looking for progress.
No, you're looking for the pre-show party.
Yeah. Right before historic AEW All In at Wembley, Hooked on Wrestling will take over Box Park for the mother of all shows. Yeah, that's not what I'm looking for. I just want the pre-show party for. I have tickets for it. Boreham Wood. Well, All In Wembley Stadium in Boreham Wood. It looks like it's going to be. It looks like it's just going to be there.
Right then. Okay. Well, that is something. Anyway, so we shall run the 20 bells again. Rest in peace to Bray Wyatt. Rest in peace. Wyndham Rotunda, to give him his proper name. And rest in peace to legend Terry Funk as well. And I don't know much about. I certainly know much, a lot about the former. Really, really stings to lose someone where you followed their career so closely. But, we'll all be following Bray's buzzards from now on. And he is truly one of those performers that we'll never forget. Don't worry, I get the feeling we're going to get a lot of Reece versus Eilidh today as we preview something that I notoriously absolutely love. Everyone knows I'm a huge fan of AEW. Fantastic promotion with absolutely nothing wrong with it. So we'll find out exactly what we think. And of course, it's been an awful few months for wrestling fans.
It's been an awful year. Like, we've done so many tribute shows. Think about it. We've done the Razor Ramon tribute show together. We've done.
How was this year?
No, it was last year. I think
that was last year, right? Okay.
We did. We did the. So we did we did a different tribute show. We did the Undertaker tribute show for his career when he retired. We did that together over 2 episodes, which was fantastic. We did the Razor Ramon Scott Hall tribute show when he passed away. We done the Jay Briscoe show together. That was really hard. That was really hard. And now we've got this one.
What makes it even worse is, of course, like when we look past the fact that these people are wrestlers,
Yeah.
That's also no time at all. At 36 years old.
That's not even
that's
life.
There's no time at all. It's just the cruel way that things can just be taken away from you. And of course, like we're fans, but I said it for Jay Briscoe, and once again I'll say it for Terry Funk as well. It's sad for us fans, but when you think about it, we only knew him as a character. So I want to reiterate that the number one thing that we need to do right now is to give the people who were close to Wyndham, the man, their privacy, give them the time to grieve. It's not the time to be speculating what SmackDown does tonight. It's the time to be allowing people to celebrate. It has been confirmed. So it's about allowing these people to celebrate the life of a very close colleague, a very close friend, for some of them, a family member. I mean, this guy's wife is a ring announcer for the company. They've got two young children.
They've just had one.
That is just nightmarish stuff. Just, you would not wish that on anyone. And, you know, it is a really bleak day for wrestling to have lost one of its most eccentric, most creative, most complex souls, I think would be the way to sum up Bray Wyatt. A complex character that fans will miss. And I said it in a private message in the group chat. It's just me, Greg, and our pal. I said it's really sad, but I am glad that he did at least get his flowers. He was a multiple-time world champion. He was well appreciated, well respected. Every time there seemed to be a problem with Bray Wyatt in terms of the complaints, it always seemed to be the way WWE were taking him, not the way he was doing anything. You know, so complete model professional. I'm conscious that some of the things I may have said on the show in the past might go against that sort of idea. I won't put that to rest right now. I think the man.
We've all, if anything, disclaimer on this. We've never once been heavily critical about Bray Wyatt on this show because we actually love Bray Wyatt's work. The problem with the problem with Bray Wyatt, and this goes back to several great gimmicks over the years. It goes to the likes of Papa Shango from 1991 with The Undertaker and all that. Like, it depends on the gimmick, and if WWE at the time can book it properly, it's gonna work. And Bray Wyatt especially had an amazing creative mind, and at times he never got what he deserved because they didn't know how to put his vision into the actual physical sense. That's why when we did the Rumble show, I was very gutted to be critical about the Mountain Dew match because it wasn't supposed to be that. It just never translated to what he wanted, and that hurt us. That hurt me because I love Bray Wyatt. But we have always said we will never take it personal to someone in the show. You will criticize the ability or you'll criticize the work ethic if it actually doesn't reflect what we believe is there.
Maybe just bear that in mind and don't hold it too much against me when we need to talk about a certain person later on the All In preview. So I don't know if you want to run the 20 bells just to punctuate this section.
I'm going to.
And then we'll move on to discussing what is coming up and obviously the big event at Wembley.
Absolutely. We are gonna run this again. So we did do the 20 bells at the start, but when it's something like this, I honestly don't care. I don't care. This is the right thing to do. So I will be unmuted because obviously it's coming from my mic. Eilidh will mute herself, or Eilidh just won't talk. It's up to Eilidh. But we're going to start with Terry Funk again, like we did, and then we're going to do Bray Wyatt, and then we're going to jump straight into All In. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen of the chat. Thank you again for being involved with us tonight. We appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. We really do appreciate that. That is what pro wrestling is all about.
Absolutely. And what pro wrestling is going to be about this weekend, other than remembering two fantastic people, is, of course, AEW dipping their toe in the United Kingdom waters. Now, where else do you dip your toe in those waters but the biggest possible opportunity that you've got? In AEW, their whole thing, can't really hold this against them. They do nothing by half. They do go for it. The ambition, for all the flaws they have, their ambition is something that you can't take away from them.
I agree.
So we've got All In. We've got, last I checked, a 10-match card.
It's been put up to 11. There's now 2 matches on the 0 hour.
Okay, so 9 matches on the main card and 2 on the 0 hour.
Yep, I have all the matches as banners ready to go. So I'm
ready to discuss some people.
Yep, I'm going to throw over to you. I'm going to throw over to you on this one. So we are going to do full predictions the whole way through. We do this for every single show, so get your predictions in, guys.
We do, and I win every time.
You don't. You do well, but you don't win every time. I'm just getting a pen. One little moment. There it is in my pocket. So get your predictions in. We are going to start. We don't normally do pre-show matches, but when you actually think about the significance of 2 of them, one of them theoretically might be there. Maybe it shouldn't have to be there, but in the essence of it, we're going to go through one or the other. So we are going to start with this one. 0 hour. It's going to be the second match, I assume. So that's Aussie Open as the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions are defending against AEW World Champion MJF and Adam Cole, better known as Better Than You, baby. This is significant, and we'll come to that later on in the show. But I am going to throw over to my co-host on this one. Let her take it away, because if you actually think about it, this is a true fact. When it comes to Ring of Honor, yes, I watch it, and I'm a big fan, but when you look at it as well, when it comes to significance, this one's been in more Ring of Honor shows than I have. So, Eilidh, I'm going to throw over to you on this one.
Yeah, I mean, not recent Ring of Honor shows. I have seen at least 2 of these people live. I don't remember if I ever did see Adam Cole live. I think he'd already gone to WWE by the time I went to any of those shows, and even when Cody was kicking around with the Elite, I think Adam Cole had already gone. Well, this is hard to call. I think even because pre-show is normally a formality. Yeah. It is difficult to say, but I don't think you get an outcome in the main event without Aussie Open winning. Yet at the same time, why would you have MJF and Adam Cole lose on the 0? Because then you've got your main eventers losing pre-show. But if they do change the titles, you've then got feuding tag champs. Well, not really feuding, but you've got the tag champs then main eventing the show.
And we've seen that before. We have seen this before in multiple promotions where world champion as a double champion has still wrestled his tag team partner for the world title in a main event. This has happened numerous times.
But like I've said before, I don't ever remember it being the case that the team of the two main eventers were also the challengers. We've seen it a few times. The champions, I don't ever remember the main eventers being a tag team that were challenging for tertiary tag team titles, because that's what Ring of Honor belts are. They're tertiary. They're not even secondary, you know?
Yeah.
It's tricky to call on this one. I think it makes more story sense for Aussie Open to retain.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think they want Adam Cole and MJF to lose on the 0 hour.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say that Adam Cole and MJF get the win. Because it literally doesn't make sense for you to have your main eventers lose literally on a pre-show.
That was up there. They were, to be fair, in 2001, Triple H and Stone Cold were up as world champion and Intercontinental champion, faced Taker and Kane for the world tag team titles. That was a match. Backlash 2001.
Did they then fight later on though?
So they faced off at Backlash, and then they had singles matches at Judgment Day.
Right, so it wasn't the same night.
No, they were the main.
No, they were the main event. Or the tag go. Yeah, that's what I mean. It was single world champion and number one challenger coming into the pay-per-view as the number one contenders for tag gold and also fighting each other. They've been the champions, like Seth and Braun were.
Yes.
You know, like there's been a few instances of that.
The only other one we didn't get was, which to be fair should have happened, but they didn't do it, was they should have done it at WrestleMania 23 as well. Michaels and Cena. They were both world tag team champions at the time. But then again, all the other tag team titles were in the Money in the Bank match, so I suppose. Yeah. But when you look at it,
what are you saying with that?
I'm just going to bring up this comment first because Yeti Boy actually does agree with you. This fits the story as Adam Cole is trying to make MJF more tired for the main event. I agree. But the one thing we do know is MJF doesn't do double duty, but MJF has a good tank on him. We've seen that he can go distance in matches. So I think Adam Cole's plan is a good plan, but it does seem a little bit flawed because MJF does have a lot of tank. I think you would have to make sure MJF stays in the ring the most against Aussie Open, especially against Kyle Fletcher, who is the more flexible out of the two against Mark Davis. I think you can certainly get something out of that. But I think when you look at it, I do agree. If Aussie Open retain the titles, then they're definitely going to split Cole and MJF in the main event. If MJF and Cole win, then it makes up for what my prediction could be at the end of the night. Davian, good to see you, my man. Good to see you. In most of their tag matches, MJF takes 90% of the offense. That's true. And a clean loss as well against FTR on Collision. They took that clean loss, remember, when he prevented Adam Cole from taking the shatter machine.
If they took that clean loss, why aren't FTR Aussie Open's opponents?
Well, because we know what they've got. He should be, realistically. He should
be. Yeah, I think what they're getting at is that, you know, Adam Cole will stay on the apron, sort of egging MJF on. I think it's a fucking mess of a storyline. I just want to put that out there. I think this is a fucking mess. Right. So MJF's being a dick to Adam Cole, like straight up being a dick to him. They have their first match and suddenly they're best mates. Adam Cole seemingly has had some form of amnesia because he's forgotten all the stuff that happened before the first match, or it's that annoying thing in wrestling where they've decided that we've got to hit the reset button on what we know. They've decided, oh, that stuff from before, that doesn't matter. And what matters now is that we've got this tag team that's selling a shitload of merch and people love them, and they're the most popular segment on the show, and XYZ.
And they are, it's true.
But it's a mess. Why the fuck are they challenging for tag belts on a show that they're not even gonna get? They'll win it, and then they'll drop them on AEW.
Yep. This is true. He did try. He did try to get that main event, and MJF was like, "No thanks."
Well, so they were both pricks to each other, and then they're like, let's just team. And they've been fine and then not fine. They built false tension. That tension was removed. And I mean, it's a mess.
We're still getting the added influence of you've still got the added influence of Roderick Strong. Sorry,
and the fucking Kingdom come into this now. The Kingdom.
Yep, going back to Cole's days for Ring of Honor.
Want the ROH titles, considering they're on Ring of Honor.
Yeah. That's going back to when Cole was there, though, as well. So that's that added part to it.
Yeah, and again, for the people who are indoctrinated in mid to late 2000s and early 2010s Ring of Honor, you're going to be absolutely loving the death off of this. But
that's a good point. They were put together in that blind tag tournament.
They didn't choose to team, but then they should have been out in round one. And we should have continued this feud as a feud. Not with them playing dodgeball with 6-year-olds.
Oh, man, even I didn't expect that part.
So it's just, they've been doing things because they're funny and random. It's not been building a story.
And Davian is fair though. Davian at least is shown he's not complete bias. He's saying the tag title doesn't make sense.
They did not choose to be a team, but they have chosen to like each other.
Yeah, and I think to be fair, and this is my only thing though, is you didn't necessarily need the tag team titles, but you can still have something where you're still building towards. You've already got the rematch anyway, but we've seen this time and time again where there is generally no issue where you have them originally where they have a match, it goes a time limit draw, they try to get a rematch out of it, instead they're forced to team together. It builds a relationship and a dynamic together, whether you actually like it or not. That is what they're doing.
How did you decide who was in the blind tag eliminator, by the way?
It was literally just after, it was the following show, funnily enough, and they said the first two names that were picked out when they done, it was Tony Schiavone when he done it.
But how did they pick the names to go in?
They just put them in. They just whoever goes out. Probably Tony Khan that put the names in, but they just kept doing random. Yeah, it was a random draw.
So there was no storyline reason as to why certain names were in it and not in it.
It was put in just to say who's going to be the next contenders for the tag titles. That's what it was.
The whole thing reeked of convenience.
It's because the one thing they don't know.
Hey, Swerve's got to team with Keith Lee. Remember this? They haven't even had the blow-off match yet.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Fucking nonsense. You can barely book a tag division with the actual tag teams. Why are we You're doing a WWE.
Yeah. Again, I have the same issue with both companies.
Yeah, you're doing WWE. You've run out of things for single stars to do. So you're tag tournament. You two, Franken team, in you go. I don't get it. But I think MJF and Adam Cole will win because you can get more merch out of it that way.
I've seen so many tag teams do this before where they've been put together at random, then they end up actually being good together, but it really does depend on how this goes. I mean, I would like for it to lead to something after this. I can see that's what they're trying to do. My only thing is, I'd hope that they at least get the more creative overall decision than this instead of Tony Khan. I'm hoping that he has got fuck all to do with this. in the nicest way.
You know he'll be backstage, I don't know, what's MJF thing now? What's the chant that he gets? Because I mean now he's face.
He has a fair few chants, to be fair.
Yeah, the same way that he pumps his fist to CM Punk, he'll be pumping his fist to you're right here. The fan reaction to the Goofy segments has extended it. Absolutely. The minute that entrance got so many views, they were like, people like this. There's an element of that you've got to
people
respect.
Like stuff. People like Goofy stuff.
Fan reaction. If the fans like what you put out more of it. At the same time, AEW could put out something different. They wouldn't get numbers that were far off that for the most part, and certainly not long term. It's not like the MJF and Adam Cole feud has held million+ ratings all the way throughout. It just hasn't.
Yeah, I think the one thing they are doing though, at least, is they are at least giving that time and that investment to them. At least they're actually giving that time and investment instead of this is just going to be a one-time thing that's over. At least they're actually sticking with it.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
And that's another thing as well. It was going stale until this. At least it changed it a little bit. So I also give them that. So you've got MJF and Cole. I think Davian has also said MJF and Cole. Just double checking. Just looking for the chat. Fucking hell, there's a lot. Yeti Boys went for Aussie Open.
I get it. I do get it. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen, but I get where it's coming from.
MJF, Cole, 100%. Yeah, Davian's going MJF and Cole. So just writing all them out. Good to see you, Krypton. Hope you're doing well. I'm also going for our new champions, but that's because it affects my prediction for the main event. I do think it will be, but I also think as well Adam Cole's going to force a finish this time on Aussie Open as a split from the last tag matches they've had where, I'm expecting a double clothesline or something like that because that seems to be the new thing, but I'm still expecting something to come prior to that and to follow. The next one, though, that we're going to do, so the second match on the card for 0 Hour is actually quite pointless.
Yeah.
And it's, now don't get me wrong, it's not pointless because of who's in the match. It's not pointless because it's Jack Perry versus Hook.
Well, that is kind of almost pointless.
No, I like the fact that at least they're still doing with this. Yeah, I know, skip. I'm just saying the reason this one is pointless is because as of next week, this fucking title is being retired. So anything, I'm just saying by proxy, Jack Perry will still win and the title gets fucking burnt to a crisp. Like ECW anyway. It's not, it's been confirmed for the 0 Hour card. Unfortunately, it's been confirmed. I think it's stupid, but it has been.
Well,
you okay?
Oh, we all good? That just shows what he thinks of it. I think I accidentally locked my phone there. Jack Perry has been lukewarm. He is the Ricochet of AEW. He's got really good in-ring work, and his character is so bland, and just he hasn't got anything to work for him as a character. He's obviously trying this heel thing now after so long of being this meh babyface, and it's turned out he's a meh heel, and it doesn't work that the angle when he turned was A, at a collaborative pay-per-view, and B, fucking stupidly shot. So it doesn't really help.
It keeps getting changed. Like I'm literally looking at the card and they've literally changed. I think somebody's went in there and actually took the piss and changed that again. Yeah, we're just got.
Yeah, well, none of it matters anyway. So if it's on the All In 0 Hour, fantastic. And if it's on All In, equally spiffing. Yeah. I guess Jack Perry's gonna win because if he loses, honestly, leave.
Pretty much.
Just leave. You can't turn heel, have 3 weeks on top, and drop the one thing you've done.
I'm literally looking and the actual humour is they are still changing. I've got the actual match card.
Tony Khan doesn't know what he's doing for this card.
Yeah. I've seen a few things randomly that they've changed for comments. It's making me laugh. Hook beats Jack Perry. Yeah. Hook should win. But gets distracted by a masked man. He ended losing another match result there in the night. Who knows? I mean, to be fair, see when it comes to Jack Perry, I think the guy sucks in the nicest way possible.
He sucks as well, but why would you turn him heel to have him? If he loses to Hook, he literally has to leave AEW.
Because Hook isn't being used properly either.
Well, he can't go back to being a babyface, and he can't really be a serious heel after he loses to Hook. He'll be having like his 4th singles match ever.
It wouldn't surprise me if they do some ECW thing. You know what they should do? Just put both of them in a hardcore death match, and if something actually happens, then fine. And I say that in the nicest way.
We can't do hardcore death matches before the king of the death match comes along. And I'm sure we'll be talking about him soon enough. But
he is several matches away. He's several. But in terms of the actual card, though, so you know what we're just going to do? Just because, like, if it's on the card, I'm going to say Jack Perry. If it's not, I don't give a fuck. So I'm just going to put skip for all 4 of us. Will I do that?
Yeah.
Will I just skip prediction? Yeah.
Just null and void this one. No one actually gives a shit about it.
Non-applicable because none of us really give a fuck about Hook. I mean, I like Hook, but he isn't going anywhere. Jack Perry isn't
one of us is going to end up caring about the outcome of this match is if it would decide predictions if we did predict it. That is really the only way that anyone would give a shit. So let's just remove that. What are they? What do you suspect they're going to open the main card with?
I'm not sure, but when I look at it, though, the matches that we've got, so the 9-match card, right? So we've got top down. This is what I've literally taken, right? I don't know what the order is going to be, but this is the card for the main show. So you got this, the World Tag Team title match, FTR versus Bucks 3.
That's what I think is going to open.
You got the Women's Fatal 4-Way.
Yeah.
You got Darby Allin and Sting versus Swerve Strickland and Christian Cage in a tag team coffin match.
Yep.
The 6-man tag between the Golden Elite versus Takeshita and the Bullet Club Gold.
Yep.
Stadium Stampede. This should be later on in the night, without a doubt. Ospreay versus Jericho. Then you've got Eilidh's favourite wrestler in the world, CM Punk versus Samoa Joe for the Real World's title.
Yep. Looking forward to getting into that one.
Then you've got House of Black versus Badass Billy Gunn and the shitty Acclaimed.
The Acclaimed are okay. Come on.
Fuck off. Fuck, motherfucking no, they're a shit.
The Acclaimed are fine. The Acclaimed are fine. They're far bigger problems than the Acclaimed.
They can scissor themselves off to somebody else. And then obviously we're expecting this to be the main event. If not, then I'd be very concerned. MJF versus Adam Cole for the world title.
If anyone's still awake by then.
It's 4 hours and 55 minutes because the rerun for ITV is 4 hours and 55 minutes. They've already shown it. Like they've already put that for ITV for when it comes on Tuesday.
Hang on, the 0 hour isn't on that.
Nobody's going to pay attention really to that one.
The 0 hour isn't on that. Are you telling me this is a 5-hour show?
Mm-hmm.
Oh
yep.
my!
I don't think that's ITV. Somebody's like screen grabbed it saying like ITV time will include ad breaks. It should. If it's not, then 6 hours.
But the ITV one might not count the vignettes. That might be when it balances out.
Yeah.
It's apparently 6 hours now. It will never end.
Open with CM Punk. Maybe. I wonder though if they would start the show with. If they would actually start the show though with Ospreay versus Jericho, because it's a UK talent. UK talent.
Young Bucks versus FTR, because the Young Bucks love to go on first, do all their stuff, and go home again. Plus, the Young Bucks would be able to say, "We opened the main card at Wembley, aren't we great?" And they'll probably win.
There is a curfew as well for Wembley. Wembley does have a curfew. You actually get heavy. If you go over as well, you get fined £135,000.
Still, if they get fined, doesn't is it Shad Khan? Doesn't he own Wembley or part of it?
Mm-hmm.
So
he'll just swallow up.
If he's a shareholder, he can just go, all right, I'll pay that, I guess. You have to start with a hot match. Yeah, but you also will probably open. I mean, the odds dictate that it'll open with a tag match because most of the card is tag. They're not going to open with the women because it's going to be the match that puts the crowd to sleep. I think they're going to open with the tag match.
I think it's got possible. I think this does have a possibility to put people to sleep, except one name, and that's Toni Storm. The other three, nothing against Shida. That's nothing against Shida, but I don't think Shida's going to have much of a reaction in the UK as she does in the States. Toni Storm will be fine. Saraya, I don't know, even though she's from the UK, that's questionable. Britt Baker can fuck off.
Imagine they do a show in the UK and the crowd go to sleep at Wembley. Not because CM Punk's done anything, though, to be fair, it puts me to fucking sleep these days. What if this crowd is just flat?
We'll find out.
That would genuinely be the most... I mean, flat is actually worse than if they boo it.
I would start with the Elite matches. The last All In had an Elite Trios match in the main event.
That's a smart way to look at it, I suppose.
That's a fair point. You know what we'll do, though? The order I've got is what I've taken directly from a source that no one likes. But that's what I've done. But we will go in any order that you guys want. I will go in any order.
Tell us what match you want to hear, and we'll do it. And it's going to be a case of fastest finger first. So when we give you the suggestion, we're going to go to that match.
Yep, first name match is what we'll start with, and we'll work our way through. Everyone that's watching, of course, thank you very much. Please do like, share, and subscribe. Get amongst it. Just a reminder, Monday, Bank Holiday Monday, for me, it's a bank holiday. Bank Holiday Monday, we are doing a tribute show for Terry Funk and Bray Wyatt. If you want to come on, let me know, and you'll be more than welcome.
Yeah,
that is for damn sure.
We've had the suggestion, Yeti Boys in with it, and we are going to start with FTR versus
Bucks 3.
Young Bucks.
I tried to bring this comment up from Davian because it's a fair comment. The crowd won't be flat, but one match is going to be ruined, and I assume it will be the actual in-ring of the women's match.
Yep.
Yeah.
I do think crowd will pop big for the entrances, but
that's it.
They're not going to be alive. It's not. I don't think this show is going to be as alive as Clash was.
There will be there is a live performance confirmed by Fozzy as well for Judas. That's also
fantastic.
For Jericho. That's been confirmed.
Imagine getting to book your own band in to play Wembley. Unbelievable. So
I mean, it could have been worse. Saraya could have Ronnie Ratka during her entrance, and at that point, I'll be really depressed. But I won't get into that. Anyway, let's get on with it. FTR versus Young Bucks. So this does have. Yes, when you think about it, does AEW build properly? Do they build storylines? At times, yes. At times, no. This, on the other hand, is more like we are going to end this once and for all.
Yeah.
And when you look at it, and I know Davian made that brilliant comment to me the other day about traditional. He thinks the UK fans are going to be more for the FTR than Young Bucks. And I do not disagree. And yeah, true, Zombified is a great song, but
it is.
He is a wanker.
It is, but the US fans are also more in FTR than the Young Bucks.
Yeah, it's more the Japanese scene and a little bit of indie, but it's more for FTR.
Surely this would just follow that pattern, and the Young Bucks have to fight heel.
They should, yes. They should do.
But will they?
I don't think they will.
Right.
I don't think they will.
Also, do you not find it weird that FTR can fight? I mean, again, we're talking about, if I give Jeff Hardy shit, I've got to kind of give Cash Wheeler a bit of shit as well.
True. I mean, he hasn't been charged of anything yet, though. That's the only significance. Yeah. So he hasn't been charged yet. If he'd been charged, then this might change.
So he's only been arrested. Now that's why they can't do anything yet. But I mean, I don't know.
They didn't take his passport as well.
Heard, but obviously we'll wait for further findings. But no, I mean, I think FTR will probably be the base. I can't work out because obviously Young Bucks lost their creative control. If Young Bucks still had the creative control, I 100% would know what way this is going.
Yeah,
and
that's true. That's true. Although he shouldn't have done what he did, though.
Yeah, I still think I want to see Young Bucks though.
Okay.
I mean, FTR, I don't know what they do with the titles from here. I mean, obviously there was that rematch that could have been waiting for them against Bullet Club Gold, and then Bullet Club Gold forgot about them, and they forgot about Bullet Club Gold. The Kingdom are sniffing around, but that'll probably be for the ROH tag titles.
Yeah.
The tag division's just a bit lost, so maybe you do need to put it onto the Young Bucks and just try and get some new or different feeling matches.
But we instantly know, let's be real, we instantly know what's going to happen if Young Bucks win. Rey Fenix was writ off from this match because he had visa issues. So Phoenix is automatically out of Stadium Stampede. He had his own issues, so he couldn't physically come to Wembley. So that's why he's not in the Stampede match we'll come to. Instantly, we know we're going to get Young Bucks versus Lucha Brothers. Some point it will happen. We know this. Yes, they have good in-ring chemistry, but we know that's a fallback match on because it's their favourite opponents. But I actually like this suggestion from Davian. FTR win, then they move on to the Aussie Open. That wouldn't be a bad idea. It
wouldn't, but didn't we have that match recently?
I think so. I haven't. We might have done. FTR versus Santana.
Who did FTR drop the ROH tag belts to?
Well, Lucha Bros dropped it to Aussie Open in a fatal 4-way.
So FTR dropped, but so who did FTR drop them to? The Lucha Brothers.
No, because Lucha Brothers won it in the tag team ladder match. Not Death for Dishonor, the Reach for the Sky ladder match back in like May time. Like it was months ago. FTR dropped it to Briscoes. They completed the trilogy before he passed on. Yeah.
FTR dropped it.
Yeah, FTR dropped it to Briscoes. Then sadly, Jay passed away. The titles got vacated, and they done the ladder match.
I remember FTR and Aussie Open quite recently. It might have been like before the match with the Briscoes.
They did. That was a good ladder match.
FTR to do they've fought all the tag teams that they'll get to fight, and nothing really else.
I'm going to ask you this, Yeti Boy. What is it about FTR that you're bored of? What is it about FTR you're bored of? I mean, besides the fact that you're a Bucks fan, just in general, what is it? Aussie Open versus FTR didn't happen. Yeah, Mark Davis got injured. Kyle Fletcher was on his own. Lucha Brothers, that ladder match was actually fantastic, to be fair. Like, although apart from that spot where I will never speak about again, but it's a certain spot of the ladder that was horrible. Royal Quest about October. Did it? Yeah. Royal Quest last year, New Japan.
Right. Okay.
But it's not happened in AEW though, so it's not happened in there.
All right. It's weird. It's like a fresh match that doesn't feel fresh, but I think that's the problem with FTR. They don't feel fresh. Nothing that they can do feels like it'll be new, you know. FTR versus Best Friends, done it. FTR versus Lucha Brothers, done it. FTR versus The Acclaim, we've done it.
Yeah, I don't. That really. I just can't. It was a good match, but that really didn't have to happen.
It was quite horrible. Don't be a fucking idiot.
I just hated what they did in the build up to that. Pentagon Jr. is safe, so I don't blame Pentagon Jr. It's what happened.
Yeah, there comes a point where, as the guy taking that move, you have to not be a fucking idiot. That's what he was. Don't take that move.
Exactly. Don't. Yeah, exactly.
Just don't agree with it. Just don't agree to it. It didn't sell any more tickets. It didn't sell more merch. It didn't do anything. People forgot about it. Or people would have forgotten about it if it went right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm Yeti Boy here entirely. MJF, for all the horse shit he says, and he says a lot of horse shit, he was right when he did the Dax promo. You know, pointed to his head and mimicked his southern drawl and everything like that. Just, you know,
take the piss out of him completely.
He is completely right. MJF has been right about that always. And I think FTR have gone stale. Dare I say it, I think it would be more entertaining to put these tag belts on the Young Bucks right now. So I'm going to go with the Young Bucks.
I'm also with you, but I think it's going to be a screwy finish.
Oh, the frog masks are back. No,
not like that. I mean, like I think we might just get something. I think there might be like a tease in the match that might cause a little bit of dissension.
What do you think of doing screwy finishes at Wembley? Do you think AEW should aim? And I know it's tough, but Tony, if you're listening, there's something called a clean finish, right? A match can end with a clean finish. You don't need a run-in. You don't need a weapon spot. You don't need a referee distraction. Sometimes you can have a move hit, and there's just a pin, just a 3 count, or just a tap out. Tony, if I was giving you any advice for this show before you think, without a trace, as few run-ins as possible. Let matches go bell to bell.
That's a good point.
Winners be decisive, because for a lot of people going to this show, it's a new audience.
Yeah, so Davian's going FTR. So it's 2 FTRs and 2 Young Bucks. We've went for Young Bucks. Davian and Yeti Boy have went for
Oh, you're going Bucks as well, are you?
I think Bucks will win this one. In my opinion, after All In, the Elite should go to separate feuds. Bucks in the tag reign, Hangman versus Jay White and Kenny in a singles run. I'm saying this now. You've got it in the wrong order for me. I want Jay White versus Kenny Omega. I don't want Hangman anywhere near Jay White. I don't think there's any need for that yet. I think they should go for Kenny versus Jay White, because if anything, Jay White's actually been doing really well in the main roster on Collision. I think what they need to do is let Jay White have that match against, because we spoke about it before, about like when you look at the top guys in AEW, Jay White's one of them, but like so's Kenny Omega. Ideally, you want to see how they fare against each other in that circumstance. I would let them go for it, and they did tease White versus Omega. I think they should go for it. Davian agrees on that.
Omega, after all of this, doesn't go after CM Punk. It's honestly just so pointless.
I think once...
Give us the match we're actually wanting to see.
Do you think, though, and this is just something I want to ask you.
The Bucks here. Why didn't they just put Punk and Omega either side of this match?
Good question. I wasn't sure.
That I said back in when this show was booked, and then you could have built to the title matches at All Out. As a result of this, you could have had FTR versus Bucks at All Out. You could have had Kenny versus Punk at All Out 4. Now you've added a title into it, the Real World Championship.
Here's an interesting one, cousin Debaka, because you mentioned they've added in the Real World's title where he's put the X across the Elite part. Would you have Omega versus Punk? Omega versus Punk for the Real World's title. Say Omega won that, Omega versus MJF, and unify the titles for who's going to be the undisputed champion, and then that'll be the main champion going forward. Because I think Omega is going to end up champion again anyway.
Yeah, I think that would be the way to do it. I mean, actually, what I would do,
and then Omega versus Jay White.
Yeah, what I would actually do is going to come up later in the show. So for now, we'll say Young Bucks to win this one, and we'll move on to the next one. Where we may as well just go ahead and do the women's match next. I think because it's there.
Yeah, I mean, it does make sense in a little essence. I like what you've said there. I really don't mind, but like I said, you've got your idea. I've got mine. We'll come back to when it gets to the main event, and we'll just batter it through. I'm just happy that at least I got MJF versus Cole, because that's what I wanted anyway. So let's talk about it. Shida will win straight away from Yeti Boy. I don't think that's going to happen. I like the character work of Tony Storm at the minute, but I don't think Tony Storm's going to be the first 3-time winner. Even though I actually think out of the four of them, I think she is the right choice to put the title back on for when Jamie Hayter returns. Give them the rematch. It's a shame she's not even able to compete, because it'd be a shoo-in. I don't know if Saraya's going to win, but I actually think it makes more sense to have Saraya win it, and I will get killed for that.
Okay.
But Britt Baker, the only reason you have Britt Baker win this is if Jamie Hayter goes after her. But I think because it's a Wembley crowd, I don't think all the UK talent on the card is actually going to win. It's either going to be Saraya or, well, it's only two of them on the card, let's be real. Either Saraya or Will Ospreay. They're not going to have both of them win. They're not going to have both lose. It really does add to it. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'll give my prediction afterwards. But what do you think? Who do you think is going to win this one?
I think Saraya is going to hit a finisher on Britt Baker, turn around, and Tony Storm will hit her with Storm Zero and pin her. And Tony Storm will be the 3-time. It'll end the Outcasts or whatever they're called.
Outcasts.
Saraya will have that moment taken away from her, and that will therefore turn her babyface.
And keep Toni Storm heel.
Yeah.
And that means that we would end up getting Storm versus Saraya.
Yeah, well, that's fine. You don't build a team at the start of the year for it to never matter again.
This is a good point. Her
character
at the moment,
when her character makes no sense.
It does, because her the gimmick that she's been doing is it's like her going through grief after losing the title. She's acting like Marilyn Monroe mixed with Miss Havisham from Great Expectations. Like it's wild. It's wild, but you could have this though.
But what if, out of desperation, she then just, she turns on Saraya the moment there? I think Storm has to steal it from Saraya, because you can't have a woman with a, let's be honest, less than stellar injury record as the top girl on the card.
Unless it's a short run.
I think it would just be really stupid to put it on Saraya. And I think if she won it, yeah, it's a nice moment, but it's also a token gesture.
If Saraya wins, I will get a refund. Oh, you fucking won't. You'll be like, bitch, off you go.
Yeah, I think Toni Storm will win it. The whole point being that she'll sacrifice the outcasts to win back her true love, sort of thing. But really, in all honesty, I don't care. Because AEW don't care about the women's division, so I won't care about it either. Easy peasy. Everyone gets what they want out of this, and we move on.
They only care about giving them minutes, but in terms of like booking it is the question. My predictions is Shida wins after Saraya costs Storm. Ruby and Storm beat Saraya down, and someone saves Saraya. That someone could be Jamie Hayter, but that depends on how fit she is. But again, we don't know. I think she's out. She's out to the year.
It could be Mandy Rose.
That is true. She has been teasing about things are getting spicy.
It could be Mandy Rose. Going back to Absolution, you can.
Not gonna lie, Mandy Rose in AEW would be okay, but that would be even more interesting because she hasn't been on TV in quite a while.
She talks about not coming back to wrestling for a long time.
If it is Mandy Rose, though,
I'd be confused if it's Jade Cargill, because the majority of the Wembley crowd won't know who she is.
Yeah, but they will definitely know who Mandy Rose is.
They'll think it's Jazz or Alicia Fox.
Oh God, yeah. Or
Jacqueline. They will. They will look at that and they will think, oh, it's Ivory. They won't know Jade Cargill.
It's a shame, really. But that's the worst part. That's a shame. The majority of people there will know Jade. That depends on the people, though. Like that actually depends if they act. Like you'll tell by the reaction. If it is her, if it is Mandy Rose, though, then good. But I don't know.
Rose is a big enough name. She will get the reaction that they want. If they need someone to save Saraya, Mandy Rose would be the one. The only problem there then is that Saraya's got another person on the roster that she's worse than. If Mandy Rose joins AEW, she's instantly the second best worker on the AEW women's roster.
Behind Thunder Rosa when she returns.
No, I was going to say Toni Storm. Fuck Thunder Rosa.
No. We don't say fuck Thunder Rosa. Come on.
It's true thumbtack shit. Fuck you.
Yeah.
And nothing's not consistent.
Just remember that I'm going to make you do. Just remember that we'll probably do it next year. But just remember next year I'm going to make you sit through and rewatch Hell in a Cell 2. because that also included thumbtacks.
Great.
But anyway, I think Cargill will get a bigger pop than Mandy Rose.
Oh, no. Really?
Well, it's homegrown talent compared to that. It might not. It's an interesting one. We won't know until it happens.
Was in front of 3 million sets of eyes in America, and however many people watched Raw for years. Not to mention, for the kind of people who are into that sort of thing, Mandy Rose is smoking hot.
She definitely is.
People will know Mandy Rose. A lot more people will know Mandy Rose than Jade Cargill. And if Jade Cargill does get a massive pop, the Wembley experiments failed because there are no new AEW fans in that stadium. It's just all of AEW's fans cramped in, and you're not showing it to anyone new. You may as well do Josh Barnett's Bloodsport.
Oh, please don't even bring that.
You may as well, though. If you're just going to have it in your own little echo chamber, and that's all AEW's really been, all echo wrestling. Just their own echo chamber, their own things that they really, really like. And no one's been able to tell them no, and you're not allowed to tell them that it sucks. Davian, I remain to be convinced. And of course, there might be no way of proving it. And AEW fans will prefer it, but I'm just thinking, it's Wembley. It's also going to be on ITV. It's also on YouTube. So I think overall, you're definitely looking at a larger reaction from Mandy Rose. Remember, people didn't care about Jade Cargill either. What was the one match people were reliably skipping every pay-per-view? Oh, there's a TBS title match. I'll come back in 10 minutes.
Not always.
But mostly. Matched against Anna Jay and Ty Conti and Sky Blue and Velvet Sky probably. And even the Taya Valkyrie match, people were skipping that.
To be fair, that match pissed me off. That match pissed me off because instead we got Ty broken legs instead. Like, well, Statlander and all that crap. Oh, Jesus Christ!
So who are we going for? Can we get our predictions? And that's because it was inevitable she was winning. If she returns to make babyface today, it will be a superstar reaction. But she's not a superstar.
Who, Jade Cargill?
Yeah.
No, but that's what he's implying, though. Like, it was inevitable if she returns and makes a babyface, it'll be a superstar reaction. He's not implying that she's a superstar at the moment. It's the reaction of appearing will get that.
But why?
Because it generally happens.
I know it happens, but it doesn't happen for mid-card champions.
I think the only thing is though is we're going based on we're going based on the difference of.
Yeah, I mean absolutely, and I'm not trying to slight the girl here. And Jade Cargill did definitely improve over a run, but I think it's too far to call her a superstar. I don't think she scrapes that term. I don't think she comes even close. I don't think she's top 10 on the AEW women's roster. And think about that. That's the AEW women's roster.
Yeah.
I think she's still very green. I think she's got so much to learn. And she left the heel. So why would she suddenly be a babyface? And why would she know that Saraya was going to turn babyface?
I think that's not something they're anticipating. I don't think that's something they're anticipating. I think it will depend on how the show flows. I think that's something that we've always been aware of is
whereas huge contact in Mandy Rose is like, long-term bud and whatever. That makes more sense.
You will get a reaction either way from.
What if Mandy Rose is just in the crowd? And then Soraya's getting beaten down, and a blonde woman in a hoodie, mask her if you want, jumps
she
the
won't be
rail.
blonde. She won't be blonde.
She's not blonde no more. Fine. So a woman in a hoodie jumps out. I think, she'll be brunette in their NXT run even. But, and jumps the rail in the hoodie. Obviously, security guards hold back. This is part of the show, etc., etc. And she's beating them up, and then she hits that knee on Toni Storm.
Yeah.
Hood down, mask off. Obviously, they can't do that because they wasted hood down, mask off for... Who was it? AEW recently did it. Oh no, it was WWE. It was Jimmy Uso. That was the last time I saw hood down, mask off.
Utter shite. Let's not get back
into
that.
So, AEW are probably about due a hood down, mask off. They might not have done it since Darby Allin did it. So, that's something.
But at least he wears a hood, so it actually fits.
I've convinced myself. I think I want to see Mandy Rose at this show. And that would get me interested in the AEW Women's Division again. But for now, I'll say that Toni Storm wins, costing Saraya that one chance she's got to win in her homeland, get the big one.
No. I'm not going back to this bollocks of this dead storyline.
Yeah. So, and you're saying Saraya, are you?
I think it might happen. Yeah, I've just been thinking about it in my head. I've been going back in my head the whole way through about like.
Yeah, and you got the Shidas, yeah. You got the Shidas from the live chat.
Yeah, 2 Shidas. Cool. Your Toni Storm.
2 Shidas, a Storm, and seemingly a Saraya.
I think it wouldn't surprise me if they did have her just to cause a massive swerve.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, pardon the pun, because I think Swerve's going to be the performer of the night. But that's because Swerve is actually really good. But I think you could have a genuine Swerve with Saraya winning it, even if it's something on a short term. They could generally do something mental. But I don't know. But I did say it, and I'm sticking with it. So, Saraya.
Yeah, right. What is the next match? And we'll see if we can stay on top. Oh, far.
I don't. Okay. All I'm gonna say is, there's one thing about this that I don't care about, and no, I don't mean that in a sense of I don't care about the match. There's one thing about this I really don't care, no matter how we talk about it. It's the fact is I'm still getting to see Sting live. I honestly could not give a fuck how this match goes.
It's a fair enough way to look at something, I guess. But I mean,
well, that's because I've said it to you the whole time. Like I've said that to you the whole time.
Absolutely, you've been consistent in the fact that this is your chance to see Sting live, and it's not going to come again, everything like that.
And it'll be the only time. It'll be the only time we'll ever see him live because he wasn't on the Impact show. I
think this is really poor.
I agree with that. Yeah. I agree. As they should have kept. Like I've got nothing against Christian Cage, but they should have kept it AR Fox. They should have kept it AR Fox.
Why? I thought AR Fox was the one that was because now Darby Allin's got to have issues with both these people suddenly. Whereas the AR Fox thing, for as nonsensical as it was, they did at least stick to their guns on it until it comes to booking the show. And then it's almost like AR Fox isn't enough of a name.
Is he having visa issues? I don't know what the reason is. Is he had visa issues? I don't know.
It might be that you can't travel.
That's probably why Christian came out on Dynamite and done his promo on Nick Wayne when he done the "You have a father that's dead" thing. He done that on Dynamite.
All right. Is that Christian's gimmick now, coming out and telling people their dad's dead? That's he's done that now.
I didn't see. I knew Phoenix was on the list. I didn't realize AR Fox was on it.
Anyway, we'll try and be a bit quicker about this one because I don't think there's much to say. Allen and Sting are going to win, it's going to be too much for... This match does not need to be on this card. I don't know why Tony Khan always wants to do 9-match cards on pay-per-views, but
that's a good point.
We don't need it. We don't need it.
That's a good point. Mogul Embassy's Brian Cage is right there. I hate the fact he's not on this card. It feels wasted. He's actually in a stable with Swerve. It's weird when Christian has nothing to do with him.
Yeah, they've got to invent reasons to hate each other. So, I mean, just quickly, because I don't have much to say here. I don't know where it goes. I'm not necessarily caring. I'm going to say Darby Allin and Sting. I about said to retain. Retain what? I don't know. The coffin match title.
But there isn't any. There's not really anything on that. To be fair, it's one of the only few stipulated matches on the show.
Yeah, I don't think Darby Allin's lost a coffin match.
Not that I can recall. My concern is people see Christian added, see the Edge rumors, and then think it's linked. That's a fair point. That is a fair point. I don't want that to be the reason because that takes away the attention from the match. Because at the end of the day, when you look at it, whether you like them or not, or when you think they're past it or not, these are still guys who are still professional to the industry. They actually they will take this match seriously. But at the end of the day, I'm going to say this in the nicest way possible. This is not what I wanted for All In. And I said it weeks ago. Look back on it. I said I wanted either Sting versus Jericho or Sting versus Ospreay. Sorry. Sting versus Jericho or Jericho versus Ospreay. I got that. Or give me, because it's 30 years for them both and it's 100 years of Wembley, give me Sting versus Dustin Rhodes.
And but Dustin Rhodes has been very popular with the ladies as of late. So, we've got to allow him to do that.
Yeah. But it was what I was calling for because it'd be good to have Sting versus Rhodes in potentially their final year. Let them retire in the right way, in the biggest crowd they're ever going to get.
But they also could have just done Sting and Jericho as double retirement. So I don't think people necessarily care what Jericho does anymore either. But obviously Jericho isn't done with the limelight yet. But I think is everyone Allen and Sting, are they?
I don't have any predictions for that, but I know Davian Wills in the chat had that one. Okay. I don't have any comments for the predictions, so get your predictions in for this one.
Slide your comments in real quick, people, because we really don't have much more to say about.
I am going for Davian's going for Sting and Darby Allin. I'm also going for the same. I want Sting to win this.
Not every match needs a 10-minute eulogy, and I think I know what's coming next. And you'd be like, why are you giving eulogies before things die? But what is your next? What is your next one, Reece?
The next match. Sorry, I'm just writing that
before down. The matches fade to nothing.
The next one is
obviously nothing meant with those words towards what we spoke about earlier in the day. We're talking about theoretical.
Yes, this is the next one. This one's actually quite interesting, to be fair. It is.
There's two people on my timeout list in this match. Avid listeners of the show will know those two people that are on my timeout list.
I know.
Hangman Page is still on the timeout list from when he fought John.
I know.
That match was... I'd have to watch them both, and I'm never going to watch either again. I'd have to work out which match offended me more. Omega versus Ospreay or Hangman versus Moxley. I think Hangman versus Moxley would edge it, because Omega and Ospreay was like an exhausted and obviously really disgusting clash, but it was also like athletically impressive at points.
Mm-hmm.
And Hangman versus John wasn't. So that's why Hangman's still in the naughty corner for me.
I still prefer the like I still prefer Omega versus Osprey. I know your main issue, to be fair, is the Tiger Driver 91, but they've come out, both of them have come out and said they trust each other to do that, whether we like it or not. I thought it was a bit risky as well, considering the minimum.
My main issue is going 39 minutes, when in less than an hour you've got the actual main event that's planned to go 35 minutes.
That part as well, and obviously, unfortunately, there was an arm injury which affected that.
And they gave Charlotte, Bianca, and Asuka the same sort of treatment on SummerSlam. Get out of the way.
Yeah, true. Throwing it right out there, Davian's gone straight for Bullet Club Gold to win. I'm going to say this now, I agree. Even though this screams Golden Elite to win with triple V triggers and the one-winged angel from Omega on Jay White and all that, we're going to eventually get to Omega versus Takeshita. I don't know what Ibushi's long-term plan is in AEW. I haven't got a clue. Hangman is Hangman. Takeshita, we know, is going to be involved with AEW longer anyway because he's with Don Callis and all that, so that's fine. But Bullet Club Gold are fucking killing it on Collision. They're genuinely exciting to watch. And Jay White, I love watching Jay White anyway. The guy's brilliant. He should be a world champion in AEW soon. He doesn't need to hold any other title. He should just hold the world title. Juice Robinson is just Juice Robinson. He's mental. But we'll see literally what happens there. Pin Hangman Page, he finished his story. No one cares anymore. Yeah, Hangman's out of this. He's done. But yeah, I'm looking forward to what's to come from hopefully White and Omega down the line. So I'm hoping that Bullet Club Gold get this one.
Yeah, I think I'm going to say Takeshita and Bullet Club Gold as well, because I don't think the Elite can win every match on the night, and the Young Bucks are taking the tag belts in my eyes. So, and it doesn't make sense for Takeshita to lose something yet or to lose something else yet. It makes a lot more sense.
And if we do get
for all the heels, I mean, does that mean the Bullet Club Gold are actually part of Callis' family, or is this another thing where they've just stuck things together?
He went to them and asked them for to be backup for Takeshita. So he went to them purely because of their history with the likes of Omega.
Okay. Well, that's at least a reason, and they are at least tied in. They've not just gone, okay, here's a heel tag team, there you go. They've at least built that in. So that, that's fine.
And they've added stuff to that. Like, obviously, they've done segments where, Omega's been on his own, and he has been attacked by all three in segments. Like, they have went for him. They did have the encounters as well the other night. So they have done that at least. So at least they're not, taken away from it. But my only thing is I'm going to say this as well. If we get Takeshita versus Omega at All Out as a single follow-up to this, I actually think Omega would still be happy to put Takeshita over in that one as well. I think Omega's one of those guys. Omega's not overly obsessed with what, he isn't as, he's not like a Jericho where Jericho has to win, every major feud he's in, because that's Jericho. He has that ego. We know that from Jericho. I think Omega is that type where he will still get the reward later down the line. He will still get another title run, or he'll get his match with Jay White or anything like that, or he'll get his match with Punk that he wants to do. I think he'd be happy to put over Takeshita because it's a younger talent. I think he would be happy to. Yeah. So I think Bullet Club Gold will beat Golden Elite. And if we get Omega versus Takeshita All Out, Takeshita will still go over in the same circumstance. Or even if Omega wins, he will do something after that Takeshita will get to go over. Which has also happened in other matches before, similar ilk. The loser will still the winner will still put the loser over in a different way. I think we could get that, but we don't know.
Okay. So is it time to move on to? I'm waiting for it. Yeah, there we go. Right, this fucking thing.
All I'm gonna say before you dive in is I have one request.
Go on.
Leave Penta out of this. because even though I do like a vast majority in this match, my hands are just filled on with Penta after what the shit he's been getting in Triple R right now. That's fucking pissing me off anyway.
Yeah. Okay. So. I mean, the mystery partners are Santana and Ortiz.
Yeah, they got announced on.
Okay.
Dynamite.
Who was it going to be if there were three?
So if he was able to come, we would have. So originally the plan.
So if Ray Phoenix was on the other side of this divide,
he would have been on that one. Yeah. There were people that wanted the likes of Chris Hero and all that, but that was never happened. I think it was always going to be Santana Ortiz anyway, because I think it's literally just to tease the point that I think they will turn on Moxley and go back to Kingston.
Okay, so who was the third person that they wanted?
I don't know, because it was never really done. It was always teased as mystery, and it just sparked who's it going to be.
Once again, seems like a pretty shitty move to do. I'm going to hate this. I just know that I'm going to hate it. It's not the type of wrestling that I want to see. It's got the two. Listen closely to these words. The two worst wrestlers in the world, and it would take careful consideration for me to not say the three worst wrestlers in the world. I would have to really rack my brain to see if there is someone who takes that third worst away from Eddie Kingston.
I don't know, Davin. I'll say this.
The best friends are on the card because they're the best friends of the man who puts his hands in his pockets.
Trent Barretta and Chuck Taylor are absolutely shit. They've always been shit.
But who else are they friends with?
Their left hand, because they're fucking awful.
And the Elite, they're friends with Tony Khan.
I've never liked Barretta and Chuck Taylor.
Booked on this card, you got to go to the man at the top. CM Punk. No, Tony Khan. So, I mean, this is going to be unbearable. It's going to go half an hour. It's going to feel interminable.
It's going to be interesting how they do it in Wembley, though. It'll be interesting.
It's going to be disgusting. It's going to be the sort of thing that GCW dreams of doing one day. John Moxley will be at his CZW best. Wheeler Yuta will be as bland as ever. Ditto Castagnoli.
So would I.
Santana and Ortiz, well, we've not seen them for a year, and they legitimately hated each other last I heard, so cool. Versus Eddie Kingston, who's one of the worst wrestlers in the world. Orange Cassidy, who is the second worst wrestler in the world. Best friends, who are among the worst wrestlers in the world. And Pentagon Jr., poor, beleaguered Pentagon Jr., who couldn't get himself a blockbuster singles match. They couldn't book him against someone and give it a feud and go, hey, why don't we do Pentagon versus Jay Lethal? Singles match. Two big wrestling stars. Get your indie fans all going. And the people who've never seen Jay Lethal before will go, Jay Lethal's really good. Now we'll hide him with Jeff Jarrett and we'll put Pentagon in the middle of this. Rubbish.
I have my own issues with Pentagon Jr. at the minute. It's not that, and it's nothing against him. It's I hate the fact that every match he's doing right now, whether it be in AEW or in over in Triple A, they literally keep forcing his mask off. It's honestly fucking unbearable when it's happening.
They don't have anything else they can do with a mask.
It annoys me that it's now happening frequently where his mask keeps coming off in matches and he keeps losing over it. I'm like, this is really it's gonna hurt him as well as a legitimate masked wrestler. It's gonna hurt him a lot, and they are generally doing this to him. Like that mask he's got is absolutely. I absolutely love Pentagon Jr.'s look. I love his offense. I hate the fact that this is constantly being done to him, and I hate the fact that back-to-back Triple A's it's been fucking QT Marshall. The fucking slumlord.
That's where QT is now, is it?
He's deathmatch QT when he's in Mexico. I hate the fact he beat Pentagon Jr. in a fucking ambulance.
Sake, man. Well, I hate what you just said, but I guess I'd say Blackpool Combat Club win. I mean, I don't want to get into trouble, so I'm going to say that much on it for now, and I'm going to leave it there.
I'm not over, I know that, I'm hoping that this match doesn't suck, and I say that in the nicest way. I hope it doesn't suck. I wasn't a fan of the last Stadium Stampede. The only thing I liked from the first Stadium Stampede, though, was the fucking one-winged angel that Omega did. That was it. Because at least when Omega's in a match, at least it's enjoyable. This, on the other hand, you're doing it at Wembley, where, and I say this with the greatest of respect, there is margin for error here. Very minimum margin for error when you look at how Wembley is structured. Stadium Stampede, it literally says it itself.
This is the match that could actually kill the company.
I do not know how this one's. I physically do not know.
If something goes wrong at Wembley Stadium and may injure a fan, this is the match that could sink them.
If this was just a standard 5-on-5 tag match, no problem, because that fits All In altogether, because they were literally, the first All In was all about tags. And the odd single dream matches that we had, apart from one that was ruined by a pro wrestler that took too much time out of Rey Mysterio and Kota Ibushi, but we won't say his name. But in circumstance, though, when they announced this one, when they announced this one, I was like, yes, Stadium Stampede. I was like, okay, who's going to be involved? Originally, I was pumped for this one. But then the names started to fill. And I'm like, some of these realistically don't need to be here. And it was even more annoying when on Dynamite for the past 2-3 weeks, they have had match after match on the opener, because that's where he is, and it really is annoying. Orange Cassidy has been the opener pretty much every single time. The man is clearly fucking ruined. He's ruined with his back. It's not even a lack of evidence anymore. A blind man can tell he's fucking injured. He is still going. Segment after segment, he is getting attacked by the Blackpool Combat Club, especially Jon Moxley. You originally had the All Atlantic title. Okay. You then rename it the AEW International Championship. Your first international show outside North America is in the UK, but the title's not on the line.
Oh yeah, no, that is a very good point. The international title isn't on the line.
Make that make sense. I mean, you should
realistically. No, you're absolutely spot on. I don't know
that's
why
the problem I have.
That issue.
Yeah, I mean, it makes no sense to me. They're probably going to do Cassidy versus Moxley All Out. If they do, fine. At least they will continue with that. But theoretically, if you have a title that's specifically called International, it should be on the line at your first tour, your first major pay-per-view outside North America, in this case, which is the UK. That's one thing I actually have an issue with. Otherwise, what's the fucking point? Is it Tony Khan trying to protect Orange Cassidy? He doesn't need to. He's already got the fucking record for the most amount of title defenses anyway. There's generally no need for it.
It's because he's Tony's mate. Anyway, who are you going for?
I think it's obvious that Blackpool Combat Club win this.
The Blackpool Combat Club.
I think Blackpool Combat Club get the win, but even more annoying, it's going to be Pentagon Jr. that takes the pin.
Jonathan left Cassidy pinned by Castagnoli to then build to an international title match All Out. Or even pinned by Moxley, so that Moxley could win it, and then it would be the AEW Deathmatch Championship, and he'll be in his heaven.
I don't know. That's a fair point. Almost as bad as WWE booking a show called Night of Champions where every title's on the line and the main title isn't on the line. Exactly, mate. Spot on. That comment is funny. I beg the injury.
But again, we have the world. See, it made sense because the world champion was going for tag belts.
Should have put his own title on the line just to make it more interesting. The big goof.
Yeah, he definitely should have. But then it would have been vacated because the team that they lost to at Night of Champions both are now injured.
Good point.
So,
although to be fair, Sami Zayn is still working shows as we see, and Sami Zayn's a jobber. If you're a Sami Zayn fan, I'm sorry, but he's a jobber now.
Well, this is when you said to me, it's like Sami Zayn's injured. I'm like, he was on the show. But yeah, he's just, he said in a podcast, like, oh, he's working hard in his current, it's like an arm injury. It's just like a culmination of things.
It's the Cena injury from 2013 when he lost to Daniel Bryan. And another one who's injured, and we'll be coming to that following up. Like, we can talk about this later on, but I want to ask your opinion on a certain champion as well, who's also working injured, and it's genuinely depressing because I have the same issue myself. But we'll move on. So I think everybody's pretty much got BCC.
Yeah, I think we've all gone for the big clack clock.
Yeah. This one, on the other hand, the first singles match we're actually going to discuss on the main card.
This is sickening. Why is this the first singles match?
From the order that I've taken from, there's only 3 singles matches on the main card.
And he's on timeout as well.
I'll be seeing him twice this weekend because I'll be seeing him at Rev Pro. But Ospreay,
maybe slightly off timeout. I mean, I did watch a match of his at the G1.
Was it against Naito?
Keep it in the ring. No, it was the
He did have some good matches. His Okada match was good.
Opener Tai Chi.
Oh, that was a good match. That was a good match.
When he lost Tai Chi. Yeah. So
yeah,
maybe Ospreay's paid his dues. He can come off the timeout list. I'm like a teacher with the timeouts I've got right now. It's like,
to be fair though, you have said to me as well though that even if you might not be able to see Rev Pro, you're at least buzzed by who he's got at Rev Pro.
Yeah, Ospreay Takagi is a fantastic match.
If there is a link, I know it's
one of the greatest matches I've ever seen. So I think Takagi is incredibly disrespected. And I think this match is it's not what I wanted to see Will Ospreay do.
What did you want to see with Will Ospreay?
The match that was there was to have Will Ospreay versus Pac.
Yeah, but we know why he isn't there.
That was the match, and obviously it would have made even more sense because Will Ospreay's rebranded the IWGP US title as the UK title.
Mm-hmm.
So if Pac was fit, building that feud would have been a smart thing to do. You could have had like a cruiserweight style match with 2 heavyweight performers. Would have been really nice to see, but instead, I think we're going to get the same sort of thing. Chris Jericho tried to do some cruiserweight stuff, I guess. It doesn't really go well anymore because he is old.
He is an older man, yeah. But the good thing is, though, at least he's up against somebody who is extremely athletic, will work to his pace and also work quickly in certain spots. And he has a mixed offense that Jericho actually works really well against. Jericho's best matches are against individuals that have a mixed style. Like when you look in recent years, like one of his best matches obviously was like the likes of Chris Jericho against AJ Styles. Like WrestleMania, like they had actually a very good match against each other because it was that all-round style. his all-round matches when he was in New Japan as well, like against Naito, against Omega, against Okada. Like,
yeah, I was about to say Chris Jericho worked really well with smaller guys, but the thing is, I think part of my problem was that I'd forgotten. Basically, I was so dialed into watching. Was it Double or Nothing that match was on, or was it the Forbidden Door? I think it was Double or Nothing. Jericho fought Adam Cole, and I saw it and I went, "Yeah, that was fine." And apparently it wasn't fine. Apparently everyone just completely hated it. So, I was going to say Chris Jericho works better with smaller guys, but, an apparent disaster class that he had against Adam Cole that I must have just completely missed or wasn't paying full attention for or whatever.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be okay, but it is definitely not what I wanted to see. Chris Jericho had to be on this card. I don't think you needed to put Will Ospreay against him. I get for a few people this is actually a dream match, and for those people, fantastic. I love it when your dreams come true.
It is the match they two wanted as well during 2021 in the Tokyo Dome. They did want this together, but COVID stopped.
Of course, Chris Jericho wanted a match against Will Ospreay in the Tokyo Dome in 2021. Because Will Ospreay was over like Rover in 2021, and Chris Jericho post WWE has been like, who's popular? Who can I attach myself to like a sandbag and just wait? And it's sort of like a mix of a sandbag because he drags them down, and then also a leech. Who can I take some star power from? Who can I take buzz from? Some relevance from?
He has that to him. And that's the thing about it, is like,
I believe backstage they were genuinely calling him Chris Jericho the clout vampire.
Oh yeah, that's a good way. That is a fair way to put it.
Like,
I mean, he took the Ring of Honor world title just to call himself the Ocho when he has nothing to do with Ring of Honor anyway.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
And he derailed Ricky Starks.
Although I'm happy with what he's doing on Collision right now. I'm actually really happy he's away from all that crap, doing his own thing. I still like Ricky Starks. I want him to get something that he deserves. Like, there's just something about him that I like.
A WWE contract.
I don't know. I don't know, because I don't know how they'd use him. I don't know. I think it really will depend on what they offer him. If he went there, same with anybody. Same, and vice versa. Like, it's about what they offer. If they can offer the right level of booking, then you've got something. If you can offer like this extension to a character, then they have something to work with. Is
this a title match?
Ospreay versus Jericho.
Yeah, is Ospreay defending?
The IWGP UK title, as it is now, is not on the line.
Okay.
Just as same with Rev Pro, he's not defending it against Shingo either.
Interesting.
So it does make it more of a 50-50 booking, which I'll admit I'm not a fan of 50-50 booking.
No, but it does make the outcome harder to predict, because if it was a title match, you definitely know that Will Ospreay was winning.
Yeah, and I still think Ospreay wins.
I think Will Ospreay has to win. I think, as you say, you do usually want a British winner. I know we didn't get one at Clash, but technically there was only one Brit at Clash, and he didn't win. There are two Brits on this show. Maybe one should win. I don't see Saraya doing it.
And the said British start and the said British guy from Clash was more over by the guy from the Republic of Ireland's main man as well. He was.
Yes, that's true. That's why I said technically there was only one home country hero.
Yeah.
Don't tell an Irishman he's British. They get very, and rightly so, they get pretty testy about that. So, yeah, I'm going to say Will Ospreay here.
So do I.
Are live chat thinking, and what are you thinking?
I'm 100% going for Will Ospreay, and I'm going to say this as well. This will go about would say about 20 minutes. I think this will go about 20 minutes. But I genuinely think Chris Jericho is going to be, and this hasn't happened for a very long time, so I'm saying this because of Will Ospreay's talent. I genuinely think Will Ospreay is going to expose Chris Jericho.
Ooh.
Like, I think he's going to expose him for the level of mat wrestler and technical ability Ospreay's at right now, plus his aerial game. Jericho, when you look at good matches, he does have the odd good match in him, but he hasn't had a good match where he's had to seriously work technical in quite some time. And I can't remember, and I say this always in the nicest way, I can't remember the last time Chris Jericho worked a match where he was more technical than anything else. And since Will Ospreay changed his style, he does less of the high, even though he still does the high flying, he does less of it now, he does more of the all-round basis. Will Ospreay's become so much more better in the ring. And with that, I do think Will Ospreay is going to seriously expose Jericho. Whether it's intentional or not, it's just the difference in ability and the work rate right now where Ospreay's like, he's obsessed by, in the same year, I've beaten Okada, I've beaten Omega, I've beaten Jericho, I've beaten this guy, I've beaten that guy. And he's so obsessed that you know he's getting to he's going to raise his game even more. I don't think Jericho can raise his level to match Ospreay, even though Ospreay is less experienced and has less big matches than what Jericho has career span. But obviously that's because Jericho's been in the business longer.
Fair. Well, I've got 20 minutes. So how many matches we got left?
We have 3 to go.
3 to go. We can get through 3 matches in 20 minutes. I mean, we've already discussed most of the main event. Oh, not this guy.
It was the next one on the list.
Oh, the golden vampire. Sucking the life out of anything that's left.
Including
Did you see GTS?
Say again, sorry?
Did you see the GTS on Joe?
Yeah, it was one of the worst GTS I've seen.
Didn't hit it.
Yeah.
I did like that people took to calling it going for a nap or resting my eyes for a minute, you know, but I did find that really funny.
Yeah, my concern with that is I don't think that it was an issue of lifting Joe. I think that was easy because Joe will work to anybody. I just think the genuine issue is Punk was trying to hide who he was. Obviously, he was under the mask and all of that. It really let him down that he was using his own offense, and it looked so flat when he went for the GTS, because ideally, if you're going to use that type of gimmick, you shouldn't be using your own offense if you're trying to hide who you are when you're attacking the guy you're going to end up going up against. Take the mask off and then kick the shit out of it. It felt weird. It felt different. I don't like it, and I don't care what company it is. I'm sick of the similarities to the Long Conquistadores. Can we move on? This isn't 2000 anymore. I said that nicely.
Was that not ages? I said.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, all right. He said the banned wrestling word.
Yeah.
I love the line that CM Punk looks out of shape. He does, and he's been too busy focusing on what's been happening behind the curtain that he's not really been, focusing on what's happening in front of it. It's a shame because this is another Samoa Joe match that Samoa Joe is going to lose. There's no way Samoa Joe is becoming the real world champion.
No. Not whilst he's still Ring of Honor TV as well.
Ring of Honor TV, yeah. So he doesn't need both. And the AEW Real World's title supposedly means more than the Ring of Honor TV title. It certainly does on AEW. So there's no way that Samoa Joe's winning this match. I think it's going to be a great match for everyone who watched Ring of Honor in the mid-2000s. Mm-hmm. And I think it's going to be okay for the people who didn't. It'll be more of a wrestling match. It might be a refreshing palate cleanser after all of the blood and guts, not literally in terms of match type, but just in terms of all the barbaric action that we'll get. It could be a nice, sorbet to clear the palate, but it's ultimately going to be this match almost 20 years after it was very good.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
it might
I agree.
Be 20 years exactly. I don't know when it happened in Ring of Honor. I want to say 05, but it might have been 04.
04 and 05, yeah, they were both.
Okay, it was both. Cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're nearly 20 years on from the fact. I think people maybe need to.
They had some great matches in Ring. They had some great matches in Ring of Honor. Like the 90-minute time limit draw is one of my favorite matches I've ever seen.
Yeah, he did. He absolutely did. But at the same time, I mean, look at the age profile of the main stars on this card. It's not far off being heroes of wrestling.
Some of them as well. When you look at this, is an issue that's
actually people who their heyday was 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm. You've also got this issue as well, though, across, and I say this because I come back to all major companies as well. Some of their main talent is either early 40s or they're mid to late 40s. Some of them are in the 50s, so on. And I'm thinking they should be slightly phasing out, and you should look to use younger talent, or at least put the younger talent with the older guys, so you can actually get something out of them. At least it will feed to the crowd in a way.
Or have a show like NXT where your under 30s guys can work amazing matches with each other and be ready for the call when it comes.
And you've got something there where you could feasibly have 5, 6, maybe 7 guys who can just come in, phase some people out, and then you've got something, as you've said, ready-made.
Hayes, Dragunov, Breaker, that's definitely 3. Waller, when he gets a chance, will be 4.
Mm-hmm. Carmelo.
I mean, Tyler Bates right there. I said Hayes.
Sorry, I wasn't sure if you did.
Right there. I don't know the age of Noam Dar, but he's obviously Dragon Lee's under 30.
Very true. Wesley is
Axiom's under 30.
Mm-hmm.
So, they've got their next generation. AEW aren't going to allow theirs to breathe until it's too late.
Yeah, they've got to start letting them come in soon.
Yeah, but as for this match, it'll be okay. Punk's definitely winning.
Yeah, I agree. I don't see Punk losing unless God forbid they actually go, well, you know what? He's been consistent with the Ring of Honor World TV title. He's putting talent over, even though he's still champion. Samoa Joe's right there as a reliable guy. You know what? We could put him as the main guy in Collision, but it's not going to be. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the match we've got is this trios match now. This better be.
And it's badass Billy Gunn, by the way.
It better be quick. It's not going to be.
This has to be less than 10. This has to be less than 10 minutes. In my opinion, it has to be less than 10.
What the House of Black's been doing.
They're really good.
This isn't the match that I wanted. This isn't the match that Andrade wanted. I don't think this is the match that Malachi wanted. I think they wanted Malachi Black versus Andrade El Idolo, which would be a great 15-minute match put on this card. And it would be 2 names people would remember from mainstream TV, and they would respect the hell out of those 2. And Tommy End was massive in the UK.
Mm-hmm. I massively agree with you.
So it all would have made perfect sense. As for the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn, yep, fun act, get the scissoring in. Will scissoring take off in the UK? That's the real question to all of this.
I don't think we're going to get much of that scissoring because it's not that kind of Billy Gunn he's went for. He's went full on badass. He's went full on for the badass gimmick.
So can the Acclaimed do anything other than scissor though?
Fuck off, hopefully.
Well, that's not what I meant. I meant.
No, I say in the nicest way. Like, I know you've got your issues with Orange Cassidy, and that's completely fine. The Acclaimed are the tag team equivalent, if you think about it. They're just a favorite. They're just a favorite that's going to keep getting what they want. They should be in the tag division, jobbing. I don't think they're that good, personally. I don't think they're that good. I've never rated them as a tag team. I've never rated them as a trios team either.
I get it. I think that's a fairly justified opinion you've got there. Yeah, House of Black has to win here.
Oh yeah, easy. House of Black, easy. If
not,
then I'll be very surprised.
And I mean, there isn't much more to say on that one, so I guess
they're the only credible trios tag team as well, unless you bring back LFI. Obviously, Rush is doing that. Like, they are bringing Rush and his family. That's segments they've been doing. You do.
Yeah.
Andrade has his own. Like, I don't think we're going to get Death Triangle again, even though Death Triangle is still one of my favorite trios teams. Lucha Bros with Pac was a great dynamic. I don't think we're going to get that again, which sucks. So House of Black is the only genuine trios team that's actually built themselves over time, and they're genuinely good. And nobody can say a bad thing about House of Black.
No, House of Black have been doing everything they're supposed to do. And speaking of what you're supposed to do, is it time for MJF to do what he's supposed to do and drop this title and stop the flat title reign that it's been? Or will Adam Cole miss out? Tough one.
When All In got announced for the UK, the first thing I said on stream before anyone else started doing all their flaming match predictions or fantasy dream matches and all that shit, when All In got announced for the UK, the first thing I said was main event will be Adam Cole versus MJF for the AEW World title. It's the first thing I said.
Yeah,
correct.
And obviously it's turned out to be the case. We've got there in a very, as we said earlier, at the start of the night, a confusing feud / partnership where MJF has essentially gifted this opportunity to Adam Cole. So I guess that gets us around the first issue that we usually have with the AEW World Title Contender, which is how did they earn the shot? In this case, Adam Cole didn't have to earn the shot because MJF just gave him it.
You're not wrong.
We isn't going to have any. We absolutely did. We absolutely did lose great ones.
Since you missed the start, Justin, we're doing a stream on Monday for this as well. We're going to be doing a tribute show for both.
Yeah, tribute show with multiple guests. This sound of it. I'll be around for about an hour to talk about Bray. I don't really know Terry Funk or his work. Etc. I'm not too familiar with, but I can certainly.
You'll get something out of it. You'll still get something out of it.
I can certainly weigh in on Bray for sure.
We're doing 2 match watch-alongs as well that night. We're going to do 2.
Yeah, and again, what I'm around for, I'll be around for, but I've heard you got other guests and stuff, so we're all sorted for that.
A few people want to come on, especially for both of them. So you'll actually have a mixture. Davian will be on as well, so you'll have all that.
We've got a nice setup for the guests.
Oh, Bray Asmussen, by the way. Fun fact: Bray was a part of the first wrestling match I ever watched. Him versus Jericho in 2014. That was actually a good feud. That was actually a good feud. Not gonna lie.
It was certainly it was a way of Bray sort of showing what you could do. But anyway, in terms of this, so you've got 2 options. MJF either keeps the world title, and that's that. MJF probably goes on to CM Punk again, or Adam Cole wins, and you can go with Adam Cole versus CM Punk. You could go with Adam Cole versus Kenny Omega. You could go many different avenues.
You could also go back to Adam Cole's first AEW feud. Adam Cole versus Darby Allin.
That wasn't his first.
One of like the main ones. No, sorry, one of his major interesting feuds. He attacked Jungle Boy, but Darby Allin was the one I remember more. That's what I was saying.
The first feud he had was losing to Orange Cassidy via hug.
Mom says like the first major feud that I remember of him in AEW was Darby Allin. He did attack Jungle Boy, which was funny, but I mean like that one, like that was some of his best early work in AEW. I think you could go back to that, and it would actually be interesting. If we get Darby Allin,
I don't think Adam Cole's had a good match on any AEW event. I really don't. I don't think Adam Cole's done well at all in AEW. Now, I didn't watch Adam Cole vs MJF 1. I heard it was great, but I didn't watch it. So I haven't seen one.
It was a good time limit draw match. It was a good time limit draw match.
I think if I'm in this position, I'm putting Adam... Justin, both. Both. So they're friends, and MJF gave Adam Cole the gift of the main event at Wembley Stadoum for the world title match. So both, I mean, they're teaming on the 0 Hour, going for the Ring of Honor tag titles, but they're closing the show fighting each other in the main event. If I was in charge, I'd put this on Adam Cole in a heartbeat, see what he can do. It can't be much worse than the MJF thing. You've obviously just turned MJF face, so you've got to kind of have him wrestle with that and have some feuds where he's actually the face, because I mean it's going to be hard for MJF to be booed again. I mean, unless this is all building to MJF turning on Adam Cole, in which case that makes Adam Cole look a bit of an idiot. So I'm going to say MJF retains, because I think that's the way they're going to go. It's not the way I would go though.
Yeah.
So what have you got?
When you look at match quality and when you look at what's at stake for both here, the first thing this has got to do is this first of all has got to go longer than the time limit draw. Even if it's by 5-10 minutes, it has to go longer. Or if it's say 5-10 minutes shorter, it's a 20-25 minute match compared to the TV time limit draw they did on Dynamite. They will have to not necessarily rush this match, but they will have to add more spots to it that they didn't do the first time. But it's all about that creativity. So, for example, when the match ended, he hit the boom, 2 count, and then the bell went as the referee was coming down for the 3. You cannot have that near fall situation again. You can have the near fall, but you can't have the near fall of a time limit draw. There shouldn't be a time limit draw on a pay-per-view. If there is, I'll be quite surprised.
Oh, if they do a time limit draw on Wembley, they may as well just fly home instantly after.
Mm-hmm. Additionally, another thing as well is are they going to have any involvement with the likes of the Kingdom and Roderick Strong?
Probably, because they'll look at what's been working for WWE recently, which has been all the run-ins, and they'll copy that same formula.
Mm-hmm. The circumstance being, though, is you have an exciting match that went to a draw on TV that was non-title, topping it with the world title involved. It's not always as easy to go and top that.
Very true.
And I think they'll have to do more spots or the match goes longer to do it. It'll either be more spots, less time, or increase the length, which will then lead to a decisive change.
Yeah, something's going to change in this match. Anyway, people, I'm going to let Reece do as he does, jump into that mailbag, have a conversation with you lovely people, and anyone do feel free to jump on if you're having a late night chat with Reece. That's absolutely fine.
I can't
most of the day, and I need to relax. But heading off for now.
I can't. It'll be my prediction, and then I will be.
Oh, you're jumping off as well.
I need to, because obviously I'm on the early train down. So
no, that's absolutely fine.
Good, because nobody wants a Jim Uso segment anyway. So I'm
I think also at times like this, as I say, like storyline pales with reality.
Every storyline has been cut for tonight. There'll be nothing like this.
My hopes for SmackDown tonight, full on tribute show. Just celebrate the man, celebrate the times of the man, the best moments, everything like that. But my prediction is that MJF retains. Reece, your prediction?
Also the same.
So we're both saying MJF to retain. We've got our predictions noted down. We'll be back to talk about then, not on Monday. So don't arrive on Monday thinking that it's an AEW review. You can ask us questions about it if you like, but I think we're probably going to aim to do that, next. Then again, we're going straight into Payback, so busy times.
We could do it Tuesday or Wednesday because Billy wants to come on the review he couldn't come on tonight, but Billy wants to come on the review show, and I've said that's cool. Jamie wants to come on.
Absolutely. Don't need to, anyone that wants to come on, don't think that I'm the one that decides that. Message Reece and let him know.
Jamie's coming on for Payback.
Perfect. That's all good. Well, I'm gonna hop out just now. Reece is gonna follow suit. I'll let him do the intro. But thanks everyone for watching this, and hopefully All In is better than Forbidden Door. And for one last time, rest in peace Terry Funk, and rest in peace Bray Wyatt.
I've got nothing else to say from that cause. That was a great way out, and I'm going to say thank you all for watching, and keep an eye out on the community tabs, keep an eye out on social media for the updates for the tribute shows on Monday, any other content coming out for the week. I will be posting some videos from the week, like from the weekend when I'm down at Wembley. So like videos, like photos as well, like the matches and all that stuff. I'll be doing that. But in the meantime, thank you all for watching. I really do appreciate it. We will see you on Monday for another fantastic show. You guys have all been great. Have a good night, a good weekend, and see you later.